Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to be going over a very big cold air mass that's going to be taking place over the central and eastern United States. We have the threat of snow in parts of the Rockies and the northern plains. Some of those areas could even be dealing with rather heavy snowfall, and we will be dealing with potentially warmer air actually through parts of the western United States and maybe even along parts of New England and southern Florida as well. But for the rest of the country, it looks like it'll be a rather cold couple of weeks. So here's what the current National Weather Service page looks like, and it is quite quiet for today, but there are a few watches and warnings, especially out through the western United States. We have some winter weather advisories in effect for Montana and Washington, as well as some freeze warnings in effect in that dark blue for Oregon, and then some frost advisories along the coast of California and Oregon. We also have some red flag warnings in effect for parts of Colorado, Utah, and New Mexico as well. And then we have wind advisories scattered throughout parts of the northern Rockies and even through parts of Nevada as well, with some high wind warnings and high wind watches scattered through there as well. And then we have some flash flood warnings in effect for the Panhandle of Florida, as well as southern Alabama, and a tornado watch, which is currently in effect for the Panhandle of Florida, southwestern Georgia, and southeastern Alabama, with red flag warnings in effect for the east central part of Florida. Yesterday in Falcon Lake, Texas, they had the high temperature for the lower 48. They got to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, and the low temperature was in Peter Sinks, Utah. They got as low as 0 degrees Fahrenheit. The highest precipitation or rainfall report was in Garden City, South Dakota, where they got 2.2 inches of rainfall, and the highest snowfall report was in Burgess Junction, Wyoming, where they got 8 inches of reported snowfall yesterday. Here's what the European model is showing for the temperature anomalies. Basically, what temperature anomalies are is a way of measuring how far above or below normal any given area is going to be. So in the reds, the oranges, that's where we're dealing with temperatures that are going to be above average. For example, if you have a 5 written over your location, that means that you're 5 degrees above your normal average, and vice versa. If you have a -5 over your location and the blues and the greens, then you would be below average, and that's where you're dealing with chillier or colder than normal temperatures compared to this time of year and what you should normally be at for this time of year. This would be by Monday, and we're dealing with some rather chilly air back through western and central Canada, as well as for the Pacific Northwest, even moving back through parts of the northern Rockies and parts of the plains as well. Still warm, where we have an area of high pressure over parts of Quebec and Ontario, and then back down through into the eastern United States. But overall, it's kind of a split over the country, where on the eastern side and the southern side we have some warmer temperatures. On the northwestern part of the country, we have some cooler temperatures. And then as we move through Tuesday, it does start to relocate over parts of the central United States. So we're dealing with temperatures that are closer to 10 degrees below normal. So in the Dakotas, Wyoming, even back through parts of Montana and Idaho. But it's just generally moderately chilly over parts of the central part of the country. Then moving this on through Wednesday, you're going to see that we still have colder than normal temperatures back through the northern plains, the northwest, and then even going back through the Great Lakes and parts of the Midwest as well. So over the entire part of the western and central United States, we're all going to be above, or actually below what is normal. Still warmer than normal though for the southern United States and also for the northern tier of the country in the interior northeast and the upper Great Lakes. Here to be for Thursday, and you're starting to see that we still have that cold air over much of the central part of the country, from the Rockies all the way back through, touching parts of North Carolina and Virginia by this point, and we're dealing with basically two different areas of centralized cold air, one over the Ohio Valley, another one over parts of Wyoming and Montana, and those two systems are going to work together to really cool down much of the country. So that would be by Thursday, which would be April 15th. If we look at the 16th, which would be Friday, you can see that we have definitely two defined cold air masses, one back through here, one back through here. We still have those warmer temperatures hanging on through the southern part of the country and also the northern part of the country, but it's that midsection of the country where we're going to be dealing with those colder temperatures. Really, then this would be by Saturday, and you can see that we have really below normal temperatures. We're going to have to see whether this verifies or not, but you can see for much of the plains, some well below normal temperatures, but for the rest of the eastern United States, you're within 5 degrees of normal, so nothing really too abnormal for those areas. And then by Sunday, that cold air does start to push further to the east again. Here would be what the actual low temperatures look like. This is going to be for Monday, and you can see that we have low temperatures in the northwest that are getting down through the 20s, even some teens and single digits as you get back through into the higher elevations. But much of the eastern United States still above normal by this point, and you're dealing with temperatures that are going to drop down to right around 40, 45, maybe 50 degrees in terms of Fahrenheit temperatures. And that would be generally what you're used to, or maybe even a little bit above what is normal for this time of year. Here would be for Tuesday, and you can see that it's a little bit chillier. You have temperatures that are now getting back through the 20s into parts of Minnesota, the Dakotas, Nebraska, eastern Wyoming, eastern Montana. So it is spreading a little bit further to the east. Then by Wednesday, this is when we really start to see widespread effects. So much of the northern half of the country is seeing a low temperature that's below 30 degrees Fahrenheit or below 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So a lot of below freezing low temperatures over the United States on Wednesday. And then if we move this forward to Thursday, pretty much the same deal. We're not really dealing with too much change from Wednesday through Thursday. By Friday, areas in the middle of the country, so for example, Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, eastern Nebraska, do start to warm up a little bit, and so does the eastern United States a little bit more, but still areas through parts of the northwest are very, very cold by this point, and we even have threats of snowfall, which we're going to talk about in just a little bit. This will be by Saturday, and you can see that we have temperatures that are still very, very cold, especially over parts of the Rockies, where we have temperatures getting down into the single digits over parts of Wyoming, Colorado, Utah, Idaho, and Montana, and it's still rather chilly, especially for the western half of the Great Plains. Then, if we continue this forward and we start to look at the Climate Prediction Center's forecast through the next 6 to 10 days, so this is taking you a little bit further from Thursday through Monday of this upcoming week. You can see that the central part of the country is where we have the highest chance of being below normal for this time frame, and you even have I believe that's an 80 to 90% chance of being below normal within this little area right here. So a very, very high chance of being below normal. It's only the immediate east coast that can maybe linger on a little bit longer to the warmer temperatures, and also the west coast. So if you live away from both sides of the coast, we could be dealing with rather cold temperatures. That's from the 15th through the 19th. Here's from the 17th through the 23rd, the 8 to 14 day outlook. And you can see that we have a very large area where we have 70 to 80% chance of being below normal. And then for the rest of the central and eastern United States, it's generally just a general chance of being below normal. Still parts of eastern New England and also into southern Florida are hanging on to the warmer temperatures potentially, and also the western United States starting to expand a little bit more with those warmer temperatures. For those of you who really don't like the cold, and definitely in the springtime, I really don't like the cold too much. I'd rather have the warmer temperatures. It does look like after about another 2 weeks or so, we might go back into a warmer pattern. So it looks like it will readjust itself, and we'll go back into a rather neutral or warmer than normal pattern. So this is definitely nothing permanent or nothing that's going to stay for too long over the country. And then that snow threat over parts of the northern plains, you can see how anywhere in the grays, the European model over the next about 7 days is expecting under an inch to 2 inches, 2 to 6 inches in the blues, 6 to 10 inches in the purples, 10 to 20 inches in the pinks. In the light pinks, that's where we're dealing with 20 plus inches of snowfall. And you can see that this is just a preliminary outlook, and by no means am I saying that this is exactly what's going to happen, but it does go to show you that this is a rather broad area where the European model is showing potentially significant snowfall, and many of the other models also back this up. They have different positioning for the exacts of this system, but it does look like we're going to have some sort of system that's going to move throughout this area and bring quite a lot of snowfall over the next few days. So that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Please consider liking the video, subscribing, and turning on notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.